Welcome back to the Four Verts Podcast. I'm your host, Logan C. To my right, Jacob Adcock, Carson Steele, and Grayson Moore. We're back again after the gauntlet of a Week 0 7-game slate. We're going to go over the games, go over what we had last week. Wasn't a good showing for the fellas. And then after we go over Week 0, we're going to move on. We're going to just put the past behind us. We're going to go to Week 1 where the real football starts. Everybody knows the real football starts Week 1, right? Enough of that USC shit. Let's go. All right, so Week 0. Oh, by the way, 1-800-GAMBLER. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Didn't say that last show, so if you lost your mortgage, I mean, don't really blame me, but whatever. So Week 0 started out Notre Dame and Navy in Ireland. Notre Dame 42, Navy 3. Grace?
We look good for a minute, but
No,
just
what
for
minute?
1 minute.
What minute?
For 1 minute.
And
then,
the drive that ended on going for the
and
fourth.
then we had players, two receivers playing defense on each other for one possession. That really just sent us down a tunnel, and we never recovered.
Yeah, that was early too.
Sam Hartman, Heisman,
could have
maybe
even the score that first drive on that fourth down. They just threw it up. Two players right there.
that was the play of the game.
Yeah,
That was it.
He had two wide. What's the cornerback playing quarterback? What was the DB you said last week? What was his name?
That's on San Diego State.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Jay
Well, the
Mason.
Navy's quarterback looked like he could have played DB. He threw the ball. He had two wide open receivers on that play.
It wasn't his fault though, really.
Would the wind get it?
They
Dude,
don't-
it hit both of them in the hands. They dropped it.
Yeah, I know, but he had them open for a long time. But that started out our day. Sam Hartman did look good. That was the major takeaway.
It was a good ball.
Sam
I'm
Hartman
trying to
is a
tell
dog.
y'all.
The main takeaway for me was the Notre Dame offensive line. They got whatever they
phenomenal.
wanted.
Phenomenal.
Dude. They just bully balled up front.
They do have a couple All-Americans on that team.
Yeah, they got two guys going NFL
Yeah.
for sure next year, and they just, they were moving Army's D-line, moving their whole front seven.
You really can't sit here and tell me you know the difference between Notre Dame's first-string running back and their second-string, because both of them was just eating it
I
up.
think even the third string got some action that game.
Yeah,
He did.
It felt like that first half they were just like, hey, they can't stop us running.
Yeah.
And then their second half, they're like, oh, yeah, we got Sam Hartman.
Yeah.
We can throw the ball, too.
Well, I think it kind of set him up for a proficient day,
Yeah, he looked good. He was hitting throws. He missed a couple guys, whatever, overthrew that or waited too late on that one deep ball in the end zone first half.
You
remember,
can correct me,
he
but
waited
I
late.
First game of the year, he still looked phenomenal.
You can correct me, but I think at halftime he had only missed like 5 throws. I think he was 19 for 24.
Yeah, it wasn't many. I don't think he missed many at all, but he looked good. The O-line looked better in my eyes. I think Notre Dame's going to be a good ball club.
I think they are too. I think maybe another year Notre Dame could possibly make it to the playoff.
Maybe. I'm not going to say they're a lock to be top 4 come December, but I do think they have a chance. I think a quarterback was what they were missing last year, and
got a gauntlet of a schedule to go through too.
they got 3 main games. They got the USC game. They got Ohio State Week 4.
Yeah.
What was the last time they went deep?
The year that
Notre
we
Dame.
played them in 2020.
But
Alabama played them in 2020, and we beat them in the playoff game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not far removed, but new coach, this second-year coach, and I think he's had some time. That the whole team's had a little time here. I think they got a good squad. They do have that 3 games: the Ohio State game, USC, and Clemson.
If they go 3-0, does Sam Hartman get the Heisman right
Yeah,
there?
I think
Oh,
so.
yeah.
If they go
He's in the
3-0 right there, they're going to probably go 12-0.
I took him for a reason, man.
If no one puts up, honestly, I think he looked better than Caleb Williams did this weekend.
Yeah,
If you're gonna go,
we'll get to that. We can go to there next if you want to go USC.
We can go to that. Honestly,
Right.
and
All right.
I apologize for
The
that
30 and a
horrible
half?
lock of a
Well, yeah.
pick.
All right. Let's say what picks we had on the game prior.
I had
Grace?
I had USC.
Well, we'll go to the Notre Dame game first. All right. So over half of my action. We picked 3 games last week. I had Notre Dame minus 20.5. It won under 50. barely won. I thought Notre Dame was going to get it by themselves. They about screwed me. So I won both bets on that game. Jacob had Notre Dame minus 20.5 as well. Cashed out on that. Grayson, on the other hand, had Navy plus 20.5.
A tough beat.
Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking. Let the intrusive thoughts win there. Mm-hmm. But on to the USC game. Jacob had the USC game as his lock, minus 30. Carson had the USC game as well, minus 30. And that game ended up being 56-28. USC did get the win over San Jose State. Did not cover those points.
I was really, really hoping for that last-second touchdown there at the end of the ball game.
What was your thoughts on it, guys?
I'm going to go overreaction, and I'm already kicking myself for saying USC is going to make the playoff. Yeah. After that, I'm like, well, go ahead and throw in a new 4 seed because they're not getting there.
Yeah. I'll go overreaction as well. Their defense, like, in my eyes, like, you play that Notre Dame USC game. Last week, week 0, Notre Dame's beating them. Like, I'm just looking. I mean, San Jose is a far better opponent than Navy. Yeah. But I just.
You give up 28 points to San Jose State, you got problems.
San Jose State's not terrible.
We're not knocking.
Their quarterback's not.
Their quarterback's not bad. And I
think the rest of the Pac-12 probably looked at that game and was like, if San Jose State is putting up 28, we're fixing them. I feel like they're going to be in a ball game every week.
Well, it's the same old Lincoln Riley. Defense is optional. I'm going to get my points, and I just hope I score more than you do.
But, right. Yeah, that being said, I do think that UFC offense can score 56 games. Yeah. they score 56 points a game.
But if you – I'm just going to say this. You put them up against Utah again right now.
Yeah.
And if Cam Rising's healthy –
but I still think, even against Utah, I'm high on Utah. I think they can score 40 on them.
I agree.
Or like 35,
I could see them putting up 35, but
USC can score, but here's what's going to happen. If you lose a game close and then you lose another game, say you got 2 losses, Caleb Williams, the guy can have his moments of being a diva. Who's to say he's like, screw it. We've already lost 2 games. I'm just going to sit back and chill and get ready for the pro.
He's such a prima donna. He is. He's a prima donna, and he wants to act like he's a pacifist, but he
You don't think he would just be like, screw it, I'm just going to save my body for the NFL?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm 100% sold on that. I'm not a big Caleb Williams guy. I think he's
got an attitude problem. Yeah.
I think the whole painting of the fingernails, F Utah, F whoever they're playing. Yeah. I think he's just got – I think it's an attitude problem, really, and if you're going to think – Baker Mayfield grabbing his crotch and shaking it at Kansas, but they're still, just beating on him like a
It's
dog.
Weird how he got so much slack for that.
Yeah,
and this guy paints his fingernails with that. Nobody bats it on.
How long was that on ESPN?
Yeah. I'm not a huge Caleb Williams hater, not a fan either. I do think he's a really good quarterback. I like his game. He's not the problem in my eyes. It's their defense. Their defense is not good. And they preached about it all offseason. All I heard from the big talking heads of ESPN, CBS, Fox, whoever, was their defense got transfers. They're going to be better.
Yeah.
They didn't look better.
No.
They didn't look better.
And they may have been saving themselves. Who knows? But
I don't think so. I don't think so. There's no way USC winning that game wanting Caleb Williams to play in the second half, week 0. They did not want that.
I want to say this, too. I think if you put, like, a Sam Hartman, or if you even put – and this is the one that I'm really thinking of. I think if you put Drake May on that USC team –
he's the only other person I think that can make some of the throws, but I still think Caleb Williams just like athletic and just make crazy throws. That's what he's good at. He's good at
the whole fumbling of the football and then
grabbing throwing a touchdown. He's good at that. That Patrick Mahomes-esque, make plays out of nothing, make the crazy throws. He is good at that. Yeah. I'm not going to take that away from him.
And that's that.
But if they get into the playoff, I think they're getting steamrolled by Georgia, by Ohio State, Michigan.
You put
Bama. I don't think that their defense just ain't going to Caleb Williams is going to make a mistake every once in a while, or somebody's going to make a mistake. There's going to be a fumble, something. they can't afford to make mistakes the way their defense plays.
And you know when it shoots up to this 12-team playoff next year, I mean, Lincoln Riley's going to have that team in good enough shape where they're going to be, in the top 12 at that point in time. I mean, even if it's with one win or whatever, but he's that good enough of a coach that he's going to have there at that time. But I can see him getting first rounded in that playoff too.
Yeah, and I just unless their defense improves, I don't see them making the playoff.
No.
I think they could get beat by Utah again. I think they could get beat by Notre Dame again. They could get beat by Washington. They could get beat by Oregon.
When is their first real test?
It's not until late. I'll pull it up, but the majority of their tough games are on the back end of their schedule. When
do they first go to Pac-12?
Well, they play Nevada this week, and then they play Stanford, which is the worst team in the Pac-12. They play Arizona State, Colorado, Arizona. Then they play Notre Dame September the 14th, and I think that'll be their first test. But then they have a gauntlet kind of finishing that out. They got Notre Dame, then Utah. They do get Utah at home. They go to Cal, which won't be tough. Then they have Washington or at Oregon, and then UCLA.
If Notre Dame can fly around to the football like they did, it took them a while to get used to triple option, as it does any team. You got to account for your fullbacks and everything, but luckily Navy was using their fullback nearly every play, so it was fairly easy to shut them down. But Notre Dame's defense is not shabby, and they know, and they're big up front too.
The USC and Navy offenses are polar opposites.
Yeah, we're can't really judge too much off Navy.
Yeah,
but they by the middle of September or October, middle of October, whatever, it's going to be different ball teams we're looking at here. But I do feel like we should shout out old Zachariah. What was his name? Zachariah Johnson. I don't forgot his name.
The freshman.
Yeah,
sensation.
He looked very good. What was his name? Was it
number 1?
Zachariah Branch.
Yeah,
Zachariah Branch. He ran the kickback
He had big returns on kickoffs.
He's going to be good.
He is.
Yeah, he's very explosive.
Somebody compared him to Tavon the other day.
Yeah, I also seen a Reggie Bush comparison. Yeah. That was kind of crazy.
That's pretty wild.
But
Reggie Bush is, did y'all see that today? Reggie Bush going against NCAA trying to get his trophy back.
He should. He deserves his trophy back.
Give him that thing back.
Johnny Manziel did the same thing
and admitted to it. This documentary is not the first time that Johnny Manziel has done that. Johnny Manziel went on a podcast and said, "I don't." He quote for quote, "I don't give a shit about the NCAA anymore. I've already got all mine. What are they going to do? Take my bowl win against Duke?
Take his Heisman away?
Yeah." But they can't do it. I mean, what do you?
They can do it. They did it to Reggie.
Yeah, but they're not going to. At this point in time, they've already got.
They're not going to do it to him, but they did it to Reggie.
Exactly.
And it's messed up. All right, other games. Week 0. We'll keep this recap pretty short because we have a lot of games to go through. We got a full slate, guys. We got a full slate, and we'll start with San Diego State and Ohio. San Diego State wins the barn burner 20-13. The boys over here on the side both had them as the lock, -2.5 and 2, I believe. Both cashed in their locks.
I felt like we had to sweat that one out a little bit more than we expected.
Yeah, everybody's outside. Somebody asked me, "Are you really interested in this game?" And I had to look at them and say yes. They're like, "Dude, it's San Diego State."
As much as it pained me to say that, yeah, it did. It was.
And I thought, we could have it at least over with by the third quarter. Nope. I had to wait till the last drive. Probably the worst football game I've ever watched in my life, other than the Patriots when they played the Rams in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was bad.
But it was up there for worst games ever. Sloppy. I think San Diego State's defense kept them in the game. Their offense really.
They're struggling. The quarterback situation is not as good as I projected it would be.
No, it was very bad.
You remember Alex Smith when he had that surgery and he came back and his leg looked off? That's how that guy walks as a quarterback. I'm like, dude, what's going on?
Did he have bowed legs or something?
He just had a weird build. I'm like, when I seen him walk out, I was like, well, we're losing.
I have one note on that game. For quarterback for Ohio, Rourke.
Yeah, he looked all right.
If he didn't get hurt, y'all lose that.
But he didn't really get hurt. He
What do you
went out of
think?
the game for a minute, but he didn't really. What ended up happening?
Did they score on that drive?
He's out for like the foreseeable future, I believe.
That's my worry with like ACL-ridden quarterbacks, and that's what we kind of talked about
It was his own.
prior.
Their defense kept them in that game with turnovers. Their offense really did not take the game away. I think they had two. I know they had one pick, and I want to say another fumble recovery.
That's will be the story with them. Is their defense is always going to be something. It seems like. But nevertheless, we still hit the bet, and I'm glad we took it.
Yeah, y'all won. You won your locks. Me and Jacob both lost our locks. We'll segue that. No, it was lower body.
His brace popped off, that one possession, and they took him out of the game. And I thought they were just going to re-put his brace back on, but they
couldn't give him enough cortisone to help.
Yeah, I don't know. He must have
have the
actually heard something.
tranquilizer.
No.
I do think if he would have stayed in, that game would have been different because it was so close. God, it was so ugly too. Watching it,
was terrible.
I watched the whole game and it was just not.
So when did he go out? I wasn't
First
able to watch
quarter.
that.
It was early on, yeah.
Watch that part.
First quarter, yeah. But moving on, we'll go to Vandy in Hawaii, where the Commodores won.
We really got to go.
But let me, Jacob, and Carson down. It was my lock, minus 17. Commodores finished the final score 35-28, won by a touchdown to Hawaii at home. Just was not a great look for the Commodores. They won the game, but I feel like they lost it, if that makes sense. Like, Hawaii came out of that feeling better about their season than Vandy did.
I feel like the delay had a lot to do with that. I mean,
The
you go
delay
in,
did.
you
Yeah,
get
it had
pumped,
to.
and then you have to
I
just
don't know, man.
quit.
If I'd have been Hawaii, I'd have felt defeated. They put them in they didn't have a locker room, so they had to put them in a tent outside in the middle of a thunderstorm, and I would have felt automatically defeated. I would have,
No, I think it would reverse role. It would have pissed me off, and I'd have played harder because I hated being
Yeah,
where
maybe,
I was.
yeah.
Man,
Disrespected.
You just sit there and let all your stuff get soaked, and you're just gonna be like, yeah, why are we here in Nashville right now?
Yeah, I don't know. They came out like Vandy, to me, got a little lucky at times. They moved the ball well, and like every time I thought they was going to get a stop, Hawaii got like a fourth down conversion. They threw that long touchdown on a fourth down conversion, which really made me mad. And I was just sitting at home just fuming about it. And I was also mad I was up past my bedtime because I thought they were going to kick off at 6. Didn't kick off till 8:15. And then
Calm down there, Grandpa.
Vandy's 100-yard kick returns really won them the game. That's kick return, like, it is lucky. Like, it's not. I mean, it is skill, but it's also very lucky, and that's what got them 7 points. And really was kind of a little difference maker of the game. Like, they won, and I'm glad for your Vandy regular season win total.
I
You had to have that.
I lost, but I needed that.
You had to have
I don't
that.
know now that I'm gonna get that again. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's Hawaii.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you got that win, but you're going to have a tough road ahead. The only other game we had in our picks was an FIU Louisiana Tech over for
That was
Mr.
brutal,
Grayson
man.
Moore.
That was brutal.
The over was betted at 58.5.
What,
They missed it by, 23 or 28 points or something
Well,
like that?
the
Only,
final
yeah.
score was
I feel better about our
Louisiana
minus
Tech.
2.
I
We
did.
lost there on
I did
South
too,
Carolina
man.
or South Carolina, USC.
Yeah.
22-17. So that's 39 points.
Can you give me a
So yeah,
reason?
they lost it by 20 points. Or 20.
Let me go over this one time. This man had 2 erotic picks, Navy and FIU.
I don't think Navy was as bad as the FIU.
40
Close game. Doubled the spread.
Dude, that was bad.
That's happened in games where they've had so much hype around them coming into it, and it still happens. I mean, it just depends. I mean, it's
I
happening.
think the Navy loss was worse than the FIU over and Louisiana Tech over.
Probably. I mean,
Navy didn't have a chance to cover that spread.
Did you
No.
sit down and watch 1 second of the FIU
well,
game?
just knowing what I knew before going in, how much I expected St. Martin to do at Notre Dame, and I went against it just because week 0 the slate was
You
not
had-
there, and I was just
you had just chirpage.
I wanted to be.
Chirpage got to.
I wanted to be bold. So, but we'll leave it at that. Hoping to recover this week and.
Like we said,
flip
week
things
0's done. We're done with that. We're going on to the real deal here. We got week 1. We got a full slate. We only had 7 games, so picking 3 out of 7, that is hard to pick. And the final standings coming into week 1 will be myself at 2-1, Jacob 1-2, Carson 1-2, and Grayson 1-2. Wasn't a great week for us.
Anybody's ball game here, folks.
Anybody's ball game. I mean, we're going in week 1, fresh eyes. We're excited.
Just
whatever. We're just going to brush that off.
Hey man, clear eyes, full hearts. Can't lose.
Can't lose. But that was our week. Anything else from week 0 before we wrap that up?
I think we're good on it.
Don't want to keep that too long. It is only 7 games. Massachusetts won their first opener since 1984.
That's crazy.
Yeah. They did look bad. That was
an
an ugly game.
How the boys
it was
from
a
home
shootout.
do?
Jacksonville State won their first FBS
You're not going to
game.
give me props on that.
I did sneak that money line, but
I got it too, big dog. What about
That was also a very ugly game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
None
it was
of these-
hard
I couldn't.
watch.
If I would
It
have had
was
to
hard
watch that one all the way through, like I did San Diego.
And if this gets to Jacksonville State somehow, y'all got to make it. Y'all got to make a change of quarterback.
and we're
we're
not
Bring
bashing
Logan
these.
Smothers in.
Yeah,
Put him in.
please.
You have to have a quarterback.
Yeah.
You can't.
There's somebody on the bench sitting there that can throw the ball better than what Webb did all day.
There also may be somebody sitting in this room that can throw the ball better.
It was brutal to watch, but we're probably never betting on any of those teams again. Maybe Notre Dame and USC.
Yeah.
If Kentucky can play Jared Lorenzen, surely to God, Jacksonville State can play me.
Yeah. Well, we talked about all 7 games, so I think that's a good week 0 recap. We're going to take a little brief intermission and then go to our week 1 preview / picks. All right, welcome back to the Four Verts Podcast. Now we're moving on to our week 1 preview. We're going to go through most of the games, maybe not every game, most of the big games. We got a pretty good stout list here. And if I'm gonna go through the slate, as time allows it. We'll start Thursday, kind of move through the weekend, all the way to Monday this week. Then if you have a bet on this, just speak up, tell us why you bet it. And if nobody has a bet on it, we'll just kind of briefly discuss it, very brief, move on. Then also we're doing 5 picks, 1 being our lock each. So we each have 5 picks. We've not discussed this prior. We're just gonna, we're gonna get the raw reactions here. Then, if you plan on betting, because I'm gonna bet on more than 5 games this weekend. There's too many not to.
Yeah.
So if you are gonna bet it, you can just say like, hey, this ain't gonna be my official bet, for our record, because we are gonna keep records. Unlike other podcasts in the college football world, we will keep our record and we're gonna make that public. So if you are going to bet it off the record, whatever, just let us know. So people, if they may want to bet with you anyways, even though y'all went 1-2 last week. We're going to start.
It's going to his head.
We'll take the small W's. We're going to start in Utah. Florida comes to town. Maybe a revenge game. Cam Rising, is he playing? That's the major question I have. Florida at Utah Thursday, 7 o'clock ESPN. Utah at -6.5. The last time I seen it, that line's been moving all over about. Over-unders at 46. Somebody has to have a play on this game.
All right. Well, I guess I'm the only one here. I didn't want to take a side on this game because I'm pretty sure everybody and their brother's on Utah, and when everybody's on a team, Vegas does something and they save their money. So if it's ever like that, I like to go an opposite direction, and I'm going to go and take the over in this one.
Over 46?
I think 46 is a safe number. I can easily see this being a finish of 30-17 or 28-24. I think 50 points being put up this game, I think that's doable. And if it was like over like 52, 53, I'd maybe get a little worried. But 46, I feel pretty cozy at that 46. I could see.
I like that 46. I think What was the score last year?
So I'm about to look up.
I think it was in the 20s apiece. I think it could have actually been in the 30s, but I think it
I think
reached
no, they
46,
put
no
up.
problem.
I want to. It was in the 50s.
20,
Yeah.
29-26.
Yeah.
So it was 54.
I think Cam Rising
3.
is a big factor in that. I think Florida, to get their points, I think they're gonna have to get some work out of their running backs, getting in the red zone, the muscling their way through. Trevor Etienne, Montreal Johnson.
Yeah.
If you get in the red zone, you gotta score for Florida, because I think Utah will come out hot. It is in Utah, correct?
Yep.
So I mean, they can put up points. I think 46 is just a cozy number. I feel
They win at home as well,
they do win at home.
and they have a home field advantage. I mean, you talk about the elevation, all that. The only thing that does concern me with the over 46
Is the wind, right? Yeah.
not the wind. What is the you're the weather guy?
Oh,
What's the wind?
I've got it ready.
What's the wind?
I'll be the weather guy. It's showing 50 miles per hour for
50?
15.
Oh, okay.
We're in the mountain. We're in the mountains. Salt Lake City. We're in the mountains.
Whew, it scared me.
15. I mean, I've
I was
seen
about to say
some.
you're over. Donzo if it's 50.
Yeah.
It's gonna be 84 degrees the high though. So I mean, it's gonna be like a home game for Florida, really.
I like
weather-wise.
I do like the aspect of that he brought up. Florida is bringing back 2 veteran running backs, and I think Trevor Etienne is a better back now than what he has been in the past, and he's a veteran on that team. I could see him putting up some numbers, getting in the end zone a few times. I mean, they're really going to have to rely on him too. I mean,
It worries me because I don't think Florida's run game was that good last year. Their numbers show it because Anthony Richardson was such a good runner.
yeah,
What's his name? Ertz from Wisconsin's not a great runner.
Graham, yeah.
Graham Mertz, yeah. He's not a great runner. I don't think he's a great thrower as well, and I have concerns with him scoring the ball.
I could see that too, but
I like Utah's
think what they'll
defense.
tell
He may
him
be-
is get the easy throws, get your check downs, convert the third
Yeah.
and shorts. If they can convert third and shorts,
Yeah, if they can get him going early on some easy stuff, like I do think he can.
I think
be more
Florida's going to be a very one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Run it until we can't run it anymore.
I'm not asking
And
for
it's
that.
not
That
gonna
worries
be
me with his
the-
over, though.
I'm not asking for 5 touchdowns out of Florida. I'm asking 17, 20. I think Utah can get the rest for you.
I
think-
Utah does have a tougher defense, but I also think Utah is a Pac-12 defense. And what I mean by that is
I do think they're the better out of the Pac-12.
for sure.
Them
for sure.
Washington, maybe
that's-
Oregon.
Yeah.
Hey,
But Washington's better on the back end of their defense. They're more of
Yeah.
safeties, corner. I mean, a
They're secondary,
defensive
yeah.
lineman or two, maybe or
Oregon.
Oregon or Washington. I mean,
Yeah.
they put some out in the league too, but I think Washington's more of a defensive back team, and Utah is more of that front seven. Come at us, we're fixing to come right back at you. You know what I'm saying?
If I were to take a pick, I'd take Utah minus 6.5. I think I'd take it just because
I would too.
it's a tough place to play. I mean, even without Cam Rising, I think it was their third string quarterback that the coach came out and said yesterday. He was like, you will see him on the field. I don't know if that means he's going to run some kind of crazy stuff or what, but
I got no clue with that.
I don't know. I mean, they're like they've only lost one game at home in like the last 3 years, so I would ride with Utah if I was taking the bet, but it's not one of my picks.
I don't like either one enough to.
It's a tricky game.
Is this Utah Florida on your 5?
Yeah, the over is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not on my fault, but I will be playing Utah minus 6.5.
Yeah.
Mainly for a rooting interest for this game, and I like Utah, so I'm gonna hope Cam Rising plays. I think you should also hope Cam Rising plays for your
Definitely.
over.
I think he will. I mean, they're not going to tell you. They want to keep that defense guessing. Yeah, who's going to play?
And maybe Graham Mertz surprises us that day. We will see, but I'm not very highly on that. Like,
Yeah.
it could or couldn't happen.
All right. Also on Thursday at 7 o'clock on Fox, Nebraska goes to Minnesota. Minnesota is minus 7 over under 43.5. Matt Rule first game. Does anybody have any plays on that?
I have a play on that.
An official play?
Not my 5.
Okay.
But-
Not an official play, but off the
Off the
books, off the
record.
record here.
Matt Rule's a very good coach. That's one reason why, and I feel like he's got the boys together this year. I'm not going to say that Nebraska is back like they used to be, but I'm going to say they look better than they have in the past 5 to 7 years.
Did you see their tight end get arrested? Did you see the video?
That really doesn't mean anything, man. I mean,
Did you see the video? That did not
That was
look
pretty
good.
bad.
The video was a bad visual.
look at all the boys on the 08 Florida Gators team. Everybody was arrested at some point in time.
After the fact.
Yeah,
After
It
business
was just a
was
tough.
handled.
it's just a tough
Manziel
video.
was arrested. Baker was arrested.
Stetson Bennett.
Stetson Bennett was arrested.
Baker Mayfield was arrested because he was intoxicated and scared that he was in the wrong. This guy's smashing a window and trying to. What was he even breaking into?
A vape shop.
Yeah, I think there's levels to the. What are we doing here, man?
Yeah, I'd rather my player be drunk than
Cam Newton stole a
robbing
laptop.
vapes. It said it was $1,600 worth of vapes too.
Wow.
He got caught. He didn't get out of the building. Like the cops were waiting on him.
Side
where he
hustle.
took the
Side
rock.
hustle.
Anyways,
There's a lot of vapes.
Yeah, somebody get this man a Zen pouch.
Nebraska still has the transfer quarterback Christian Thompson from Texas. And me and you watched that game last year, first game in Ireland, and he came out pretty hot.
Yeah, that was
mean,
crazy. That was a weird game.
2,400
See, that's what we were.
yards
That's
last
what we
year.
were missing this week. Zero
Yeah.
was like some onside kicks, up 11 in the third quarter. You know,
For sure.
shout out Scott Frost.
So what was your soft pick?
My soft pick is Nebraska plus 7.5.
Okay.
All right. Well, we won't waste too much time on that. The Battle of Miami. Who is the real Miami? Anybody got to play on that? Friday, 6 o'clock on the ACC network. Miami is favored 16, I believe I've seen, over under 45.
It's 16 or 17, but I still think it's too many.
it's
It's
been-
too many points. I feel like. I mean, I don't know much about Miami, Ohio, but
Their quarterback said they're the real Miami.
really,
Yeah.
well,
Came out, he's starting it hot.
then it's probably not too many points. You can't come out and say stuff like that this early on.
Yeah, you can if you're him. The quarterback of Miami, Ohio, that's the only time his name is going to be mentioned in the news.
If you're in Miami-
the chirpage is there.
If you're in Miami, Ohio,
I'm not playing it,
I'm staying far away from it.
Yeah,
so.
I don't have anything on that one.
but it'll be a fun one to watch for the
Some good entertainment on Friday, at least. Yeah.
Miami. Shout out Keith Whitley. All right.
R.I.P.
Sticking state and state, Central Michigan at Michigan State. Friday, 6 o'clock on FS1. Michigan State's favored 14, I believe, over under at 45. Do we have a play on the Spartans?
We do. I think that Well,
What'd you have?
what was your spread?
I had it minus 14.
Yeah, minus 14, and it hadn't really moved much. I don't think. I don't expect much from Michigan State this year. I really don't. I think
Don't let him lie to you. He is a Sparty.
Not
Low key. He has merch. He has the merch.
Yeah, I have a shaker cup. Okay.
Somebody's got to make his old fashions.
I really like that minus 14 Central Michigan, and I don't think they're proven in any way. I mean, but I'm not saying Michigan State is either. It's just one of my picks in my 5. And I do think a home game against Central Michigan, I think they can at least cover the 14. So take it if you want at your own risk.
You do know they lost their quarterback last year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Central
No, they
Michigan's
got
got
a-
much to. No,
No.
They lost their
They're
quarterback
lit-
to Auburn,
Yeah.
but then
They
they have
did.
another quarterback that's
they have
supposed to be
another
pretty
quarter.
good.
They have another quarterback, and they have like 2 other players that could pop off this year. They're
I
kind
think
of
their quarterback is supposed to be pretty good.
they're kind of
I got enough for me to
rebuild.
remember his name apparently.
Yeah, no, they're kind of in a rebuild, but I would take that over Central Michigan, and that's a Friday game, so it gives me something to look forward to.
I like the Michigan State pick. If I don't have a play on it, and I don't have a soft play on it, but if I get bored Friday night, I may bet Michigan State. If I just
Who's the real Michigan?
really
Michigan,
Michigan. I don't think that one's up for
go big
debate.
blue, baby.
It's like having a stepkid and being like, "Who's your real son?"
All right, we got one more game for Friday night at 6:30 on ESPN. Louisville at Georgia Tech. Louisville's favored 7.5 over under 49. Do we have a play on that one?
I've got Louisville.
You got it as your one of your 5?
It's one of my 5s. I
Okay.
think the line was. I like the line. If it was around 10 or 11, I would probably hop off of it. But I think that's 7.5. This morning it was at 8, and if you got it at 7.5, good for you. Not that much of a difference. I still think if it's 10, 10.5, that's when I would freak out. But Louisville, they got some new pieces on that offensive line. Really good transfer portal class. New coach coming in. I think he'll clean things up. I think they're just a better football team than Georgia Tech. I like the minus 7.5, minus 8. I've got them at minus 8, but if you can snag that 7.5, I would still grab it. I wouldn't think either. I wouldn't wait.
Yeah, I see 7.5 everywhere I see, and I like Louisville all the way around it. I do think if I'm going to play something Friday night, that will be the play. 7.5 to me is not very hard to come by. I think, like you said, 10.5, that would worry me more, but I think they're 2 touchdown.
I think you can sneak out. You can be up a touchdown, and if it is close,
I think they're going to win by 2 touchdowns.
I do too. Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying. Go ahead and take it now. Don't let it mess around and slide back the other way.
Yeah, 7.5 is a sexy line for that game. I don't have hopes on Georgia Tech. I just don't think they're a good ball club. Anything else on that game?
Nobody else?
I'm free from it, so
Yeah, you already got to play that Friday night. You got something to do.
yeah.
Let's move on to Saturday, shall we, fellas? This is where the beef is on the plate, right?
Yeah.
We'll start out. Let's start out in Texas. You want to? Colorado at TCU. Saturday, 11 o'clock on Fox. Big Fox kickoff. Shout out Mark Ingram. TCU minus 21.5, over under at 59.5. I cannot believe that number is so high.
I can. I mean,
They're looking for a shootout.
Do we have a play on it? Both defenses I don't think are great, but I don't think both offenses are great either.
does anybody have a play on it?
I have a play, but let me double check. I don't want to give you the wrong numbers.
Before he gives that, I just feel like Colorado's got so much hype behind them. I don't know. I mean, we're going to find out this Saturday. We're going to find out.
I think they got hype behind them.
Buffs
But
are a little scary, aren't they?
Okay.
A little scared down there.
It's going to be a complete turnaround.
Knowing that 4 is going to hit, the 4 wins this season, that could be one.
I mean, I'm pulling for you, man, but I don't know. I don't know if I see it.
I've got a play if you boys are ready for it.
is this an official play or off the books play?
It's an official play. And the line you had it at on here, what was it?
I had 21.
You got a 20 and a
No,
half, didn't you?
no, hang on. At 59.5 on my line, I took it this morning. It actually shot up to 64. I love it even more under
64.
right here.
Where did you have that?
These lines are sporadic right now, especially on these games that are lesser focused on. So
I probably would have took it at the 59. The 64, I love it even more.
64 and a half under is nice. I don't see. I mean, we're gonna have to see a lot from Colorado's offense.
I agree with Grayson. They're too new. You don't know what you're gonna have till you get out there. And plus, I don't see them saying, "Hey, go out there and sling it around." They're probably gonna try not to lose it more than they are gonna win it. So I don't see them just guns a-blazing. It's probably going to take them a while to get in sync.
You're right.
TCU, on the other hand, they lost their offense coordinator. He's at Clemson. You lost more than a dozen players last season. So a lot to replace on both sides. I don't see that going over 64. I think it's going to be a slow game, run game. Colorado new to the thing. They may get it together. I don't think it's going to be together lights out in the first game. I just see the under 64.
Yeah, if I
I'm
had
definitely taking the under on that too.
I love that 64 and a half. Where was
64
and a half?
is a lot of points.
that's a lot, yeah.
And another thing that we hadn't really addressed that much, which kind of hurts on the over I took, overs are going to be a lot more scarce this season with the new rule change.
Yeah.
They are, but
Yeah,
they
there's
won't.
less plays less plays per game.
I mean,
That's
if
one.
you got a good running game and you get third short and you aren't afraid to go for a fourth, you could have that ball a long time.
Yeah, ask Navy how that worked out. So under 64, you had snagged that line. I hope that line's still there because I'll bet that as well.
That's nice, but I mean, like, what does TCU have coming back? I mean, who's their quarterback replacing Max Duggan? Really?
I remember they also lost their wide receiver, that tall.
Yeah.
Maybe Keontae Johnson. I may make that up. I don't know.
Their new quarterback
you made
is
that up.
Chandler Morris.
That sounds right.
He fits the profile for Texas Christian University. So
Yeah.
I'll ride with that.
I don't know.
If
I
you
like
can
the
get
under.
that,
I liked it at 59.5 when I wrote it down.
Yeah, I liked it there. I loved it at 64.
Yeah, I love it at 64. Yeah, I think the play, if you are playing it, it's not one of my plays. It is one of yours. I think the under is that play. All right, so we'll move on to that. Eastern Carolina at Michigan, Saturday at 11 o'clock on Peacock. Michigan minus 36, over under 51.5. Do we have a play on that? An official play? No official plays.
If I didn't witness USC, I would say Michigan could get that 36, but I'm afraid of the high spreads right now. I just got burnt.
They're very capable of it.
They're capable,
they're
but I mean, I just got burnt on a high spread, so I'm
it just
take
depends.
it easy.
It depends on what they do early on. I mean, East Carolina looked really good last year. Really, and like
For parts of their season. I
Part-
went back and looked at
parts.
their schedule. They didn't.
You've been back in Eastern Carolina.
you
this year,
have.
though. You
So I mean, this
have-
36 points too much.
Yeah.
That's a lot of
off the
points.
books. I probably will take Eastern Carolina.
I would too. I think
East Carolina.
it's not my pick, but I would.
I think I may.
ride with that.
36 is a lot for a run-heavy offense. I feel like that game's going to go by pretty fast. I think Michigan's going to make quick work, get out of there, not really too much worried about it.
28-point dub. That would be good enough for them.
36 is a lot of points. So I haven't made up my mind whether I'm going to soft pick that or not, but I don't have an official play at all.
We'll just steer clear of it completely for right now.
All right, another 11 o'clock game. We got Bowling Green at Liberty, Saturday at 11 o'clock, CBS Sports Network. I really don't know. That's not on CBS, or CBS, so it may be on their streaming services.
I can watch that.
Liberty minus 10, over under 50. Do we have an official play on this?
I've got the line at. This would be like, we'll say pick 3 out of the 5. Well, it's one of my picks out of my 5. I got Liberty minus 9.5. Close enough. I liked Liberty last year. They covered a good bit against the spread. They still went minus 500, or under 500 on covering
Got it
spreads.
9.5. I seen a 10 earlier today, so
It's in that ballpark, but I like that bet. I don't know a whole lot about Bowling Green, to be honest with you, so tread lightly. But
I feel like
Liberty's
be another FIU situation right here.
it's
I don't know
feel
anything
it
about
coming.
Bowling Green.
we'll see.
Liberty doesn't have Hugh Freeze
Really,
anymore.
let's be honest
Liberty
here.
lost Hugh Freeze, and there's no way that they're recovering from that.
I like to watch, a lot of football and pull for a lot of different things during my day. And
Did
so
you watch the FIU game the other night? Be
parts,
honest.
and I gave up because Daytona.
There you go.
Everybody loves Daytona. This is more of just starting
That
my
was
day
the
off
only
soft.
thing going on in Florida that was worth the shit.
Exactly. This is just a way to start my day off and hope, I cover this 9.5. That would be a good start to the day. I feel like it's my best chance at
glad.
doing that. So
I'm glad it wasn't a lock. I'm glad it was not a lock. I don't see Liberty.
how much do
I
you know
don't
about
know,
Bowling
man.
Green?
Nothing.
I don't think Bowling Green's going to be good.
I don't either. But I mean,
It doesn't sound good.
I think Liberty's going to be better than Bowling
the
Green.
game in general just does not sound intriguing.
It
at
sounds
all.
like a week 0
It
matchup,
does.
doesn't it?
It does. It should have been played last week.
All right,
Hey.
well, it's so boring. We'll move on. Virginia at Tennessee, Saturday, 11 o'clock on ABC. Tennessee's favored 28, over under 57.5. Does anybody have a play on that? I do. Under 57.5.
Ooh.
I don't love it. Virginia may not score. If they do, I don't think they're going to score over 10. And I think Tennessee's going to start resting players if they're up 35-40. I think they're just not going to be – I know Heupel runs up to score. I know he wants to run up to score.
He's compensating for
I'm gonna
something.
go-
He is.
Yeah,
He's
I'm
compensating
gonna go-
for a lot.
I'm
but-
going to go out right here, and this is Logan not being over a certain loss last year.
I
He
think
didn't get to smoke his box of cigars on.
We still smoked those cigars, but
We
I
did,
did.
but
I
it didn't
didn't.
feel
I threw
near
mine
as
in the garbage. I threw mine in the garbage.
this has nothing against Tennessee. It's just saying
It's nothing against Tennessee. I think they're going to beat them, and I think they're just going to quit. I think it's going to be an easy win. I don't think Virginia's a good ball club. It's at Tennessee. I think the boys are going to be hot that first half.
I think that's Heupel's thing.
I think they're going to get up early. That's what they did last year. They got up early. They got up early, and then they let off the brake. They let off the gas.
Yeah, but they didn't.
I think that's what they're going to do.
You could see Virginia.
I think they're going to put up points, and it's going to be, I think it's going to be 35-0, like at half. Joe Milton's not going to see the field the second half.
First quarter,
I think they win 42-3.
What about
game
first
over.
half?
I would. That line, I don't know.
What's that line at half?
Team total over, maybe.
I don't know. I don't have the line in
we
front
won't
of
get
me.
into details.
That's a good question.
We'll keep that. We'll keep that proud.
I would like to know the line at half. I'd like to take that.
We can't see it yet. I don't think.
But I do have an official play under Virginia, Tennessee, 57.5 for the ball game. I think that game's going to be over quick, and I think they're just going to formality the second half pretty much. All right, we'll move on. Utah State at Iowa. Saturday, 11 o'clock on FS1. Iowa minus 25 and 25 even, over under 45.
I'll be pointing over here.
I really don't expect anybody to have this game, but they do. Surely not.
Lock it up.
We're gonna
lock it up.
Oh,
We're
no.
gonna act like that didn't happen.
Shout out CJ Beathard. Lock it up. Iowa minus 25. Easiest bet of the weekend.
I'm not sure about it, but I do believe a couple weeks ago this man said that.
I have Iowa win total, so I need them to be impressive.
But minus 25?
They also, he said that they're also a run first team.
That's what I'm thinking.
And they're putting up 21 points a game winning that way.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I heard that. Hold on, no. I heard that. And
can I get a rebuttal?
You got them at 25?
Can I get a rebuttal?
And you think that they're going to cover the 25? What are they going to do? Put up 49 rushing?
I think their defense may be top 3 in the Big Ten. I think their defense is going to shut out Utah State. Their offensive coordinator, brand new Brian Fuentes, maybe, something like that, has a clause in his contract that they have to average over 25 points a game. What better game than Utah State at home opener to run that up a little bit to help his average? He has to average 25 points a game. So I think they're going to score 35, 40 easy this game, and I think they're going to show the world that they can score against a very bad Utah State team. Utah State was 6-8 last year. Didn't go bowling. This is my lock.
You're on thin ice. Remember,
This
already
is my
early.
This is my lock.
And Jacob can't say anything to you because
You went 1-2 last week.
Please.
I don't want to hear it.
Hey, but
Pick Navy and
I
FIU.
I cover for my boys,
Yeah,
and I pick my
you
lock.
Hold on.
I cover for my boys.
You cannot come in here with the chirpage like that.
He's still hurt.
After betting 59.5.
He's still hurt
on
about
FIU
USC.
and
You wasn't
Navy.
close on your other
He's
picks.
still
You
hurt.
weren't. You didn't even.
They were in the realm of possibilities.
I was within 2 points.
Yeah, I was within 4.
But we didn't hit it. So we both lost. We all three lost on those bets we're talking
there's
about.
There's a thing about not hitting it and then completely getting your
Jacob,
ass handed to you. And
Jacob,
you got
I forgive you.
Your ass handed to you.
Enough of that. Back to Iowa. Cade McNamara, transfer out of Michigan. He's a new quarterback. This is a new offense. There's no more betting on the unders on their own games. That's thrown out of proportion. We got a new offense. Like I'm looking at here, we're gonna I'm all in on Iowa scoring points. I don't think they're gonna win the Big Ten. I do think they're gonna win their division of the Big
I
Ten.
wonder what the over and under on passing touchdowns will be.
I don't know, but like
1.5.
they gotta average 25 points per game for that dude to like keep his job. I'm pretty sure. So I think 25 against Utah State, a very bad Utah State team. I think it's easy. I think it's easy money. I like the line a lot.
Iowa.
It's at Iowa.
I hope you're. We got the
11
power of the
o'clock
kids.
early.
Power of the kids.
I knew that was gonna come up, man. You quit talking about children's hospitals.
I don't think that's a hard game.
In the arms of
All right, so we good with the 11 o'clock slate.
We're good on that.
All right, let's move to the 2:30. Boise State at Washington. 2:30. This is an early game for those Washington folks. Or
they're
fans out in Washington.
Yeah, they're
That's
just
early.
not waking up having brunch and getting some of their sweet.
It's on ABC. Washington's favored 14.5 over under 58. Anybody got an official play on it?
I don't have an official on this. I may wait and live bet it. I wouldn't hate to take Boise State plus the points.
Wow.
Well, he's going against a juggernaut here because I'm taking Washington.
Got it official or off the books?
That is official. That is.
I ain't taking it
Not
yet,
my
but
lock.
I wouldn't be shocked if
lock.
Washington doesn't cover it up.
I don't have an official
Carson's
pick
still
on
not
it.
over that Fiesta Bowl win that they had with the whole
Statue of Liberty, Hook and
Liberty,
Ladder,
Hook and Ladder
2007.
miracle.
I saw that today on Twitter. It was
It's
nice.
It's
Yeah,
awesome,
did that get
man.
you hard?
It was a
with
good
your-
refresher. I
with
was on
your
the
That is so much
Navy
fun
and
to watch.
FIU pick over there.
I have Washington minus 14.5 off, like not one of my 5 official picks, but I will be betting Washington 14.5.
silence.
You're not betting it, Grayson? Michael Penix guy?
He's going to go against
Roma
me right
Dunze?
We'll see. I mean, that's 2:30 slate. We'll see how 11 o'clock slate plays out. That's one of those
All
bets
the
where
time to
like
bounce
I may throw a drunk bet on that.
Well, we'll see how my
2:30?
afternoon goes Friday night before I touch that game. I'll say that.
Okay. All right, moving on. Ohio State at Indiana, Saturday at 2:30 on CBS. Ohio State's favorite 30, over under 60 points. Do we have a play on this? I have nothing on
there.
this.
I'm not touching.
I hadn't looked at that game.
I don't think I
would
will look
take-
at it until the final score is set in stone.
Yeah, I mean, if I was going to take something, I would take minus 30 Ohio State.
Yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't take it.
I
That's
would.
too many points.
Who knows anything about Indiana? They're a
Who knows
basketball
anything
school.
about
They're a
Ohio
basketball
Ohio
State?
school.
State,
Than Martin
Ohio
Harris?
State is prone to pour it on people too, and they don't care. They do not care to.
Kyle McCord's first start. I mean, I guess you can note that.
That's it.
Yeah. All right, moving
Last
on.
year of Rondo.
University of South Florida at Western Kentucky, Saturday at 2:30 on CBS Sports Network. I think you have to stream that one as well. Western Kentucky's favored 11.5, over under 70 points. Do we have a play on that?
I can't wait to watch this game and
Nope.
hear.
You got an official pick on it?
God.
I have not only an official pick, but that is
All
my
right,
lock.
I have a rebuttal. You're not going to be able to watch this game because 2 of your picks here on CBS Sports Network,
At the same time.
which is a streaming service, I do believe. So it's
Not-
going to be tough to watch.
I guess we're paying for the sports network. These bets will pay for the sports network.
Okay.
That's how it's going to work. So
What's the pick?
Western Kentucky minus 11.5.
Okay.
They've
Who
got
are they playing again?
South Florida. Does anybody know anything about South Florida?
Yeah,
No.
They play Bama
They
at
play Bama.
home. At home.
Good.
Good.
How do you feel about that one? Now?
They can get that money from Bama and pay it to me when I win this bet against Western Kentucky. So
If they rope Bama into coming playing a road game at USF, no, do we play?
There's no
Is
way.
it
there's
USF?
no way. There's no way we play.
We play USF.
There's no way Bama plays at USF.
How does
Yes,
that help?
they do.
How does
Next
that help
year
your
that
school
we,
get the money?
We have
though?
a home
We have
and
a
away there. Yes.
Saban's retiring this year then.
Those games are for your
Definitely
school to get the
not.
money. How do they get the money? No, Bama fans aren't going to travel to Western Kentucky.
Dude, they
We
traveled
played
to
them
Duke.
this
they
year
traveled,
at USF. It was a 2-1.
Yeah.
It was a 2-1. They played 2 at Tuscaloosa and we played 1 at
Yeah.
USF.
Why would you travel to that game knowing we're
We
going
have
to curb stomp?
to. Well, what if we don't?
Got big brain here. I
What
think
if we
it's a
don't
free
curb
trip-
stomp Western
It is.
Kentucky?
It is. It's a free,
trip
vacation.
it's a free trip to
fall,
IMG.
fall vacation.
Free
yes.
free recruiting
Hope
trip.
you
to
have
IMG.
fun. Hope you have
We're
fun.
gonna lose half our players in Miami
Don't
after
look
that
at me,
game.
man. He's over here picking Western Kentucky
Hey,
over
they
USF.
covered the spread well last year. They have a good quarterback. I mean,
Yeah,
They have a
well,
good quarter- they have a
Austin
good
Reed.
quarterback,
Austin
yeah.
Reed will give him respect. 4,700 passing yards last year.
I hope you're subscribing to CBS Sports
40
Network.
touchdowns?
Yeah, I hope you are.
Because the rest of us, we're
Let's
not
just-
even going
let's
to
just-
listen to what you have to say.
You have to because it's my lock, and we're all in this
It's your
together.
lock?
This is our boat.
This is your lock?
This is our boat.
Carson's over here fighting for his
So we're
life.
starting our lock column with Iowa and then Western
Iowa's a good
Kentucky.
pick.
And Iowa never really runs up to score on anybody. So this should
I
be
guess
Yeah,
I'm,
quarterback.
I'm fixing to go with a crazy pick now for my lock.
Do it. Do it,
Screw
do
it.
it.
Don't be scared.
All right, anything else on
got
that?
I'm good on it. I like Western Kentucky.
All right. To round out our 2:30 slate, UMass coming off a win, week 0 at Auburn. Saturday at 2:30 on ESPN. Auburn's favorite a crisp 37. Has that line moved any since I just said it out loud?
You got anything over there, Auburn boy?
So
That was such an evil laugh. That's how you know
37
he's a
over
Colorado fan.
under 52.5 for the Michigan State transfer. Somebody give me his name. Auburn's quarterback now.
Crickets.
Yeah, we don't have it. I'll look it up.
Good luck, Hugh Freeze.
UMass is going to get their ass kicked in
Carson
Auburn
knows. Carson
Saturday.
By 37.5.
No.
Carson loves those Auburn
Yeah, it's
quarterbacks.
Dingle McCringleberry.
Ask him about.
I don't know.
Ask him how Jarrett Stidham's cock tastes.
Was he?
Man.
Hey, we don't have to.
Yeah, I'm a Christian. I don't know.
Peyton Thorne. That was his name. I knew it all along.
Yeah.
Peyton Thorne out of Michigan State. Which I don't think is a bad transfer for Auburn and Hugh Freeze. First year, first game.
Yeah, you gotta
UMass, I don't think is a hard team. They did win in that weird ass fourth quarter game. And I don't know how they won it week 0, but does anybody have a play on it, on or off the books?
Jacob, we're waiting.
I don't think it's coming. All right, so we're gonna take another brief beer break, refill the cups, and then we'll get to the rest of this Saturday slate and move on to the weekend. Welcome back to the Forward Arch Podcast. We went over the first half of the Week 1 slate. We're going to hit the back half now. We're going to start out in old Tuscaloosa. Middle Tennessee comes to town. Saturday, 6:30 SEC Network. Alabama's favored 39, over under 51.5. Does any of you homers have a play on this game?
All I gotta say is Sweet Home Alabama because I'm taking the over.
Official pick?
Official pick.
Over 51.5.
Official pick also over 51.5. I love that.
Oh, a little agreement here for the fellas.
Was almost my lot, but somehow the Hilltoppers
I'm glad
swayed that.
he's got some sense in that noggin of his, and he's finally with the home team on one now. I feel like that should have been your lock, though.
Alabama, Middle Tennessee, over 51.5. How many points does Middle Tennessee account for in that over?
I'll go with 14.
You like 14? I'll say 7. We always slip a touchdown in those games.
I'll meet you in the middle. We'll go 10. I think a
Sloppy field goal.
Sloppy field
to clean
goal.
up the game. Yeah, that's easy.
Sad field goal.
That-
Everybody
that-
loves a sad field goal.
that
Maybe
is-
had one.
I
Maybe
see
had
that.
one to prevent the shutout.
I
That
see
is
that
easy
field goal
money.
happening, 3 minutes left in that ball game. Maybe.
Yeah, everybody loves a sad field goal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else?
I'm ready to get this Illinois game.
Prediction for the starting
Illinois.
quarterback for Alabama?
Milrow.
It's going to be Milrow.
Stay tuned.
All right. So Grayson wants to get to the Illinois game. We'll get to the Illinois game. Toledo at Illinois Saturday at 6:30 on the Big Ten Network. Illinois -9. Over under 46. We got a play on it?
I don't have an official play.
I have an off the books play as well.
I'll have the off the books play too.
Illinois -9. Everybody put your hands in.
Everybody in. Everybody.
The last time we did this standoff here, I lost.
No. Toledo?
If I was going to take it, what did you have it?
This isn't
-9?
Cal in 2020, brother. Just take.
I would
the
take.
line.
I would take +9. I'll take another. I'll go 0-2
I see -9.
to
I
win this
see
bet.
9.5 as well.
I'll go 0-2 to win this bet. So, but it's off the record.
Yeah,
taking
this
Toledo?
does not account to your record.
I would, but I'll probably end up betting this game. So we'll see.
If you guys like that a lot, parlay maybe? -9. Too much for a par?
On the soft, do we do a soft bar here?
Nah. I think we save it for the locks, whatever, because I'm not even playing this in my 5. It was
not
just
either.
outside my 5. I wanted to bet it. I had it written down.
Yeah, we're talking about it. I do love.
I also like the under in that.
I do too. I do too.
Toledo did have a pretty good offense last year, but I think Illinois is going to slow the game down. I think their run game's phenomenal. I think they're going to win the battle of the trenches. I'm going to play them at -9.
See him winning at 10 points. That'd be a good bet.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to float on that one. I mean, it's unofficial, so.
All right, we'll keep the 6:30 slate. West Virginia at Beaver Stadium, Penn State. Saturday at 6:30 on NBC. Penn State -20.5. Over under -50.5. Do we have a play on this? I have Penn
Got
State.
real quiet there.
I have Penn State -20.5, an official play. Somebody write it down. I mean, it's at home, West Virginia. I think West Virginia is going to fire their coach probably week 6, week 7. He was on the hot seat last year. I don't think he's going to last very long this year. I don't think they're a good team. Don't really know a lot about who they have coming back, but I think Beaver Stadium's going to be rocking. First game of the year. Everybody's excited. They love their team this year, according to their offseason, their chats and whatever. They're very high on this Penn State team like they are about every year, but I do think they get the job done in a 3-touchdown win here.
I see Penn State being, right outside the Big Ten championship.
In the conversation.
They're
Yeah.
going to beat.
sure.
They're going to beat either Michigan or Ohio State.
They're
They're going to
one of
beat
the
one
two.
of them,
One of
and
the
usually that's Ohio State for some
Yeah.
reason.
I could see Ohio State having that down year, and like you say, Ryan Day,
He could get forced. I don't know.
he
That'd be
could
crazy,
be.
but could happen. All right. Anything else on that? Any off the books plays or anything with the Penn State game?
Nothing here.
All right, we'll move on to the primetime game on Saturday, 6:30 on ABC. We have North Carolina and South Carolina, the Battle of the Carolinas. North Carolina's favored 2.5 points to over and under 64.5. Do we have an official play on it?
I don't have an official, but the game's going to be so fun. I am going to take a little side bet. I wouldn't put it on official, though.
Okay.
And it's going to be South Carolina +3.
Okay.
I'm
3. Where'd you get 3?
I'm going to
move it to 3.
I'm going to move
You're
it to
gonna buy
3.
the half.
I'm going to buy the point.
Yeah, I like to buy the half.
I'm officially going to ride with the Beamer ball like I have all year, Cotton. All right.
I like it.
Oh, is this
Let's
an
just-
official pick?
Official pick.
Let's,
All right,
I'm just
all
going
right.
to throw this story out here. I lived in Columbia, South Carolina for about half a year. I know what the stakes are there. Big home team. Love to travel. A lot of shit talking going on, too. Love the chirpage that they have. I'm going to ride with Shane Beamer and the boys, and I'm going to go the 2.5 here. I'm going to take them.
As much as I like Beamer ball, and as much as I thank him for the money line Tennessee win they had me last year, get me out of a little hole
That
there.
was your revenge tour right there.
It was, yeah, it was. Off the record, I am taking North Carolina -2.5.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
Off the
Getting
record.
hedged over here.
Oh, we got a tag team
It's off-
showdown
Come
that
on,
match.
come on.
It's
now.
off the record, a little 2-on-2 action.
I'd like to say
This
did I read this when I texted you guys about this game? And I want to say you said I'm not touching that. Did something change up there recently?
yeah,
Beamer ball got to his
He
head.
said I'm not touching it.
I
And the
had
official
a,
pick.
I had a
Beamer ball.
Vietnam flashback to my time in South Carolina. And y'all, and as the boys know, that was a very rough patch in my life. But I come to find out that's my second home.
You kind of love it.
I loved it.
All right, I ain't mad at it. I do expect some terrible defense, some turnovers, and also I won't accept nothing less than 2 special teams touchdowns. Or
Yeah.
something.
Oh,
Like, it's got to
yeah.
be some crazy ugly shit.
It's a shootout for sure. It's gonna be a really good game. Though.
64.5 is not enough for me to bet the over, but I'm not going to flirt with the under as well in that game because anything can. I think all bets are off. I think it's going to be.
I think it's
I think it's going to be an entertaining game.
I think it's a great quarterback play game.
I do think it's good quarterback play and bad defensive play,
Yeah.
but I'm excited to watch it.
So
Little
you got
shootout
them
of the
covering
Carolinas.
2.5.
Got him covering 2.5.
I'm going to take them covering plus the points of 3.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to 7 o'clock on ESPNU. We got South Alabama going to New Orleans and Tulane. Tulane's favored 6, over and under at 55.5. Does anybody have a play on it?
I'm going to take it as a softie here.
Okay.
I just decided that in my mind.
All right.
But Tulane, I'm gonna go out here on some on a personal experience. Grayson and I took a first quarter bet last year, Tulane versus Ole Miss, and I think he remembers me completely just baffled that Tulane was doing what they were doing to Ole Miss.
They played Ole Miss hard last year.
They did, and I think that they're gonna come out red hot again, and they're not a shabby team at all. In every aspect of the ball game, great offense, decent defense.
Yeah, I agree with you. I have Tulane as an official pick. I regret to tell the folks at home the line is moved to 6.5, but I will still take it.
And I'm with
under
you.
A touchdown. Official pick.
Official pick. Final pick for
agreement.
me is 6.5 Tulane.
6.5 Tulane marked me down as well. They were 12-2 against the spread last year. Absolute wagon.
Ate it up.
They were, for some reason, Vegas never caught on to that either. They didn't adjust any lines, or either Tulane just kept covering lines. Their coach may be in a gambling scandal in the future, but it was great last year. Late season, it won me a lot of money when I figured out that was the move.
I don't know what to expect from South Alabama in this game.
I
really.
don't think they're a slouch of a team.
They're not. They could win the Sun Belt. Really, they're up for grabs.
They are a good.
So
they're a good ball team. They got a lot coming back, but
it's going to be a good ball game at 7 o'clock on Saturday.
Under a touchdown at home, I like. Give me the green wave. You know. All right, so 2 official picks there. I got one game left on my little notes here for Saturday at 9:30 on ESPN. Which, if you're a real sicko like us, you're gonna stay up for this. Coastal Carolina at UCLA. My Coastal Carolina and Grayson McCall. UCLA's favored 14.5, over under 65. Do we have a play on this? I have a personal, off the books, not official pick. I will be picking Coastal Carolina plus 14.5. I'm not going to lay a lot on it. I'm not going to lay my namesake on it. But as a fan, I will be picking it. But I don't believe in it, if that makes sense. I want it to happen, but I don't advise it.
Coastal Carolina is your official pick?
Not my official pick.
Okay.
It's going to be off the books, but
It's not a bad pick.
I mean, I think they got a chance. Grayson McCall does lose his wide receiver 1 and his tight end 1, which is his 2 favorite options. And
Gun to my head, I would take the under.
65 is a lot, but neither team plays defense, if that gives you any insight on it.
I mean, I'm not going to touch it regardless.
I have
so.
one more game for Saturday.
All right.
Texas Tech versus Wyoming.
Where did I skip that? Did I skip that? Oh, I did skip that. Yep. At 6:30 on CBS, Tech is favored 14.5, over under 50.5.
Taking Tech. Texas Tech. Got a couple family members from out there, and they're saying the boys are coming out strong this year.
He's going for family members.
Hey,
They play on the team?
No. No.
Fans of the program.
16.5.
No, but no.
What do you got, 14.5?
I have them at 14.5, yeah.
Because your cousin saw the kicker in Walmart. Is that where?
Are they giving or taking?
Tech is giving 14.5.
Yeah. And I don't believe Wyoming has another Josh Allen in them.
Probably not. Yeah, I think that's once in a.
I'm just going to take Tech because of that fact, really, honestly. I feel like Wyoming hasn't really stepped foot back in the FBS door in a while, and they don't plan on doing it.
Texas Tech likes their team. I've already seen them
Yeah.
talking shit to Texas on Twitter. So
Exactly.
I think that is a good ball team. If you're already talking shit now.
I'm a team player of the chirpage.
I like
if you're
it.
going to chirp,
They're already chirping Texas, and
Exactly.
that's a beautiful thing to see. All right, so that's an official pick, right?
Yep.
Texas Tech minus
Texas Tech.
14.5. We'll move on to Sunday. The long-awaited game. LSU in Orlando against Florida State. Sunday, 6:30 on ABC. Everybody tune in. LSU's favored 2.5. The over/under 58. Carson Steele, I turn to you.
I think I just heard the bald eagle screech and the Post Malone song go off.
Give me something.
Definitely out of my 5. I mean, this is on there. I mean, you don't want to. You got to have some fun. You got to call some big games. You got to take shots. And after I predict this dub, Lord willing, I don't get navied. LSU's going to escape with a win on this game. Everybody's on Florida State. Everybody here is on Florida State. I'll put the boxing gloves on that night. LSU's going to get revenge.
he's going to battle for the boys. All that's going on in his head.
I like it.
I think.
Yeah. Let the band play next.
Yeah.
I think the key to this game is containing Jordan Travis. You got Harold Perkins, who wasn't in this game last year. If you can just
Not going to be this game.
was he hurt this game too?
He got a suspension, did he not? He's suspended for one game. Is that? Don't let me tell you wrong.
Tell me wrong. I don't think he is he?
I don't think Florida State's defense will be too much of a slouch either. I mean, they're going to have to do something crazy on defense to win that game.
I'm going with
Sorry.
that.
DT Mason Smith is suspended. Hill Perkins will be there. Mason Smith, their starting defensive tackle, star defensive tackle, will be suspended for
If
that.
LSU can grind clock, play smash mouth football, I think they get revenge. I wouldn't take the spread. I'm iffy on this game. I'm not going to say I'm 10 out of 10 confident, but I want to have some fun. I don't want to just take boring games. This is a big game. I'm going to ride LSU. We've been saying it since first episode of this podcast. And it's going to feel good when I come back in here walking like Conor McGregor after that day. So,
Well, I'm taking it as a softie, and I'm going to be telling you what, they're going to be pulling a Garth Brooks and calling Baton Rouge right here because they're going to need a plane ticket home after this ass whooping they're fixing to take.
I agree with you in the fact that I don't love it, but it is a big game. So write me down as official pick as FSU plus 2.5.
that's what I'm talking about. At least somebody take it. I mean, come on.
I don't love it. I had a list here that I liked way better than those picks, but I want to lay some skin on the big game Sunday. Put me on the big game Sunday, Florida State. Jordan Travis, I've done said is my guy. Johnny Wilson, my guy. He's big as hell, slow as shit. But
Jared Verse,
he could block another field goal, send the Tigers home crying.
Let's not forget about fentanyl.
Yeah. What about your boy Fent?
Yeah.
When hit him and he'll kill you.
LSU knows how to wear gloves and mask, and they're going to stay away. We're practicing our PPE this week.
So,
and if NC State can beat Florida State, then by God, LSU can.
This is a different Florida State team.
It's a different LSU team.
LSU couldn't last year.
LSU beat Alabama
Hold on.
at the SEC championship.
Let's not forget here.
Go ahead.
Got a big Jameis Winston guy.
Big James.
Big
Yeah,
Jameis.
big Jameis.
Big J-Mo. All right. Anything else on that Florida State game?
is that your lock?
No.
Have you studied? You haven't studied your. Okay, we're good. We're good.
Monday night, 7 o'clock on ESPN, we got Clemson at Duke. Clemson's minus 12.5. Over under 56. We got any picks?
Lock me down. Clemson minus 13.
I got you at 12.5, brother. I'll give you a half a point.
Yeah, I've been taking these up early this morning. It's been shifty.
We'll give you 12.5 for that lock.
I'm going to ride with my dog again. I'm riding with Clemson 12.5.
That's what the December babies are riding.
And that is my lock also.
All right. So
All right.
our locks,
We have a double lock 2 weeks in a row.
Clemson, Western Kentucky, and Iowa.
It's gonna be a ride.
It's going to be a fun little parlay.
I think if we're just playing a future teller, I think Duke will hang around in the beginning of this game.
I don't think they're going to stand a chance.
Well, I'm just saying, I'll give them a quarter. I'll give you a quarter, and that's it. I think Clemson's going to unload. I think Klubnik, with this connection, hopefully they've established with TCU. You've seen what he did with Max Duggan. Max Duggan wasn't even a starter. So the guy knows what he's doing at offense coordinator-wise. And I think what's going to really run him away from it is Will Shipley.
For sure.
And I could see a 35-14 finish.
I could see that. I mean, I always love a Clemson. If it's within 2 touchdowns, I love that spread every time.
Especially
I'll soft bet
Duke
that
at
one.
home, I'm not worried about,
No.
I think too many people are giving.
That's a Monday night, too.
All right,
Plus, Clemson does not have their kryptonite DJ Uyunglele anymore. Luckily, I feel like he's been really keeping them down here the past couple of years. They finally found a quarterback that's ready to lead this team like Trevor Lawrence again.
I like the pick. I have a soft pick, Clemson minus 12.5 as well. So I'm riding with you both ways.
I mean, even if it was
I like that line a lot.
17, I'd be like, well, I mean, I would still give it thought at 17.
Yeah.
At 12.5, lock me.
Yeah, anything under 2 touchdowns, I'm betting that, yeah, for sure. That was one I wanted to include in my thing here. I had written down, but I don't know. There's just so many games. It's hard to pick just 5 to pick.
I'm going to enjoy watching those Sunday, Monday college games because
It'd be nice.
pros, I'm going to watch. I mean,
Pros
Monday
around
Night
the
Football is
corner,
going to take it. So enjoy it while you got it.
So, the official Four Verts Pay for Your Beer pod. The official Four Verts Pay for Your Beer parlay here.
We'll
hard to say.
get
You
it
a little
right
choked up
eventually.
right there. Did you tear up?
Iowa minus 25, Clemson minus 12.5, Western Kentucky minus 12.5.
Them Hilltoppers.
We're looking at a little plus 630 odds. So throw 10 on it. Win 63. Buy your beer. Let's have a good weekend, guys. So we'll go over each one of our picks here. Grayson, you want to start your 5 picks? Give us your lock first, then go through.
So my lock was Western Kentucky. You said minus 12.5. I've got them at minus 11.5, but somewhere in that ballpark. Within 2 touchdowns for sure. That's my lock. Then I've got Michigan State at home. They're going minus 14 spread. I love that. They're playing Central Michigan. I think it'll be an easy spread to cover. Move into Liberty versus Bowling Green. I've got Liberty at minus 9.5. I think it's minus 10. I'm going to buy that half point to keep from that field goal messing me up. Bama over 51.5. And then we move into Tulane minus 6.5 versus South Alabama.
Carson, what you got for the weekend?
Starting off my lock, I've got Clemson minus 13. I believe you guys have said it's 12.5 now. Still take it. LSU money, big if, my scary game that I'm taking, LSU money line. And another game I love after that, TCU Colorado under 64. I think that I would hammer that. I would get that now. I wouldn't wait. Then I've got Florida Utah over 46. I think both teams. If Florida can just give me 17, I think the 46 can happen. And then Louisville Georgia Tech. I've got Louisville minus 8.
Jacob, what you rocking with?
I'm locking in Clemson at 12.5. Really like that line. Don't see much of it changing because it hasn't changed since Saturday, I don't think. Then I'm taking Texas Tech minus 14. I like that game a lot. It's in Lubbock, of course. Then I'm rocking with South Carolina and the Beaver Boys. Primetime television game day. Game of the week. Locking with South Carolina. Then I'm going Bama in the over 51.5. And then I also have Washington at 14.5. So
My lock of week 1 will be Iowa minus 25 against Utah State. I'll also take the Tennessee Virginia under 57.5. Penn State minus 20.5 against West Virginia. Tulane minus 6.5 against South Alabama. And then I'm going to take a ballsy pick and Florida State plus 2.5 against LSU on Sunday night. Thank you for listening to the Four Verts podcast. Follow us on all socials at Four Verts Pod. Call 1-800-GAMBLER if you have a gambling problem. Please gamble responsibly within your limits. And if you like it, like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. Shout us out. Feel free to let us know what you think. Any comment will be appreciated. And let us know who you got week 1. See you later.